Hi, Sophie here. Got a lot of food in front of me. Stay tuned because I'm going to be talking all about plant-based protein. All right, so as you may or may not know, I am a huge fan of plant-based protein. So protein that we can get from plant-based sources, obviously. Now, why? Why would we want to do that? Well, number one, I help women. I'm a weight management specialist. And so I help women on their beautiful weight maintenance journey, maintaining their ideal, but most importantly, healthy weight. So one of the ways we do that is really we want to try and get in as much plant-based protein as we possibly can because it's anti-inflammatory. It protects against so many diseases. The number one killers, the number one is actually colon cancer after lung cancer, which we're not talking about here, but super duper protective. In my book, everything, the big driver is if we can try to prevent through lifestyle and diet these diseases, let's do it. So preventing colon cancer, breast cancer, a number of different cancers, okay, by having our protein come from plants is anti-inflammatory. So it's going to prevent against those many different diseases. Also building good gut health to heal your gut and to build good gut health, which is the foundation of your health. Also, not only that, but it also plays into your weight management journey because if your gut is healthy, then that's really going to help with your appetite and many other things too. So I could go on and on, but I don't want to because I want to not make this video. Some women are like, you talk so much at the beginning of the video. So as you can see, I'm talking really quickly here and I want to get into it just to show you these foods because I think you're really going to enjoy this. I'm going to go through them. Now, this is not comprehensive of all plant-based protein, obviously, because I could do 10 videos and get all the different ways that I use plant-based protein and the recipes and blah, blah, blah. But today, this is specifically about protein superstars, okay? The way that you can really dial up and boost the protein from plant-based sources. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. I'm going to go through a few things. Stay along to the end because there is a surprise product right at the end that has really blown my socks off and I want you to see what that is. So let's get started. Okay, so let's get going with what you can pop into your diet during the day to zap up this plant-based protein. It's anti-inflammatory, it is gut-friendly, so what we're really talking about here is building a healthy gut and what is really going to aid you on your weight loss journey, obviously. We're taking out all that animal, that saturated fat and helping you to on that level too. So when you're talking about breakfast, and having any kind of toast, rather than have a regular sort of whole wheat toast or whatever, I really recommend a sprouted grain toast. So sprouted grain, this brand, most of you know, it's called Ezekiel. If you live in another country where you can't get Ezekiel, most places that I've traveled to have a sprouted grain bread now. And generally speaking, when you sprout a grain, it's going to have more protein in it. So this bread has 5 grams per slice. Now, if I was to add just 1 tablespoon of peanut butter to that, then that's going to be 9 grams of protein right there. And that's just 1 slice with 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 9 grams of protein. So that could be a snack, that could be as part of your breakfast, however you roll in that particular way. I know avocado toast is super popular now, but there are other better ways to get a little bit more protein in. You could do this with some hummus, 2 tablespoons of hummus and a little bit of avocado on top, and then you're getting lots of lovely protein. All right, let's talk about a chia pudding. So chia pudding, if it is made with soy milk, okay? Now I know soy milk is super duper demonized. Oh my gosh, it's going to give you cancer or whatever. Well, it's actually the opposite is true if you really follow the evidence-based science, that it can be really protective against multiple different cancers, particularly breast cancer, actually. So if you were to make a chia pudding, now this is with regular little chia seeds, okay? And in this cup here, in this jar, I have 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. I'll pop the recipe underneath the video. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 2/3 of a cup of organic unsweetened soy milk. And then I've got lots of lovely fruit in there. Can you see those fresh raspberries? I've got some blueberries in there, right? So we're talking about 14 to 16 grams of protein right there. Now, if I want to add a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, and I've got some dried tart cherries in there, pop that in the top, then I'm adding another 2 or 3 grams of protein. So a simple chia pudding can really get you up to almost 20 grams of protein very, very easily. If you put hemp seeds in, 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds, it's going to take it even higher. So I do love chia pudding, and it's a really, really great kind of, weight release food, giving you, and it's very, very filling as well, super satisfying. Like, you imagine eating all of that, you're going to be full for hours. It's also a really good post-workout snack as well. If you want to get in, a big boost of protein within 60 minutes of working out, which I recommend you do as a weight management specialist. That is the way to go. And by the way, don't forget, if you want to find out more about how I help women to lose unwanted pounds, do click on the link below this video and watch my free masterclass. But that is something that I recommend to all of my clients, to go with these sort of high protein, delicious snacks within 60 minutes of working out. Now, let's talk about, since we've talked a little bit about soy, we're going to be getting to some more soy stuff. In fact, because there's quite a lot of soy in this video, I am going to put some links underneath the video so that you can read the evidence-based science about why it is actually healthy for you to eat soy, unless you are one of the 4% of the population who is allergic to it. So I am going to pop some links underneath, because I know there's always a lot of questions when I mention soy, and I just want to head this off at the pass. Just go click on the links. But soy curls are really great. So they are very high in protein, 11 grams per serving, 11 grams. And what soy curls look like is, it looks like this here. And what you do is you hydrate it with a little bit of water, and then it sort of puffs up, and it has the texture of chicken strips, which is great for those of you who are not eating chicken. And on the subject of chicken can be very, very high in saturated fat and sodium. Most modern day chicken is. So anyway, this has the texture of chicken strips. And so you soak it, you hydrate it, then you would maybe saute it. You can do fajitas with lots of lovely Mexican seasoning. You could do Mediterranean seasoning, lemon, pepper, garlic, herbs and everything. And you could lay these on top of a salad, a Caesar-ish kind of salad in lieu of chicken strips. So this to me is a protein superstar. Now, another protein superstar, let's get into the, obviously, beans. I haven't got beans in this video. Well, I've got one bean actually towards the end, but your beans, your chickpeas, garbanzo beans, black beans, every kind of bean imaginable is very, very high in protein. So I'm not going to labor too much on that, because this is the protein superstars video. But this one I wanted to point out. This is a mix. This is actually available at Whole Foods, but you could make your own mix here. And it's barley, peas, and lentils. And why I love this is that it cooks in just 10 minutes. And it's very high in protein because it is just 1/4 of a cup, which is a tiny serving, is, I believe, 7 grams of beautiful plant-based protein. So super high in protein. Soup, lentils. Now, lentils are just my biggest superstar, because this lentil soup here, which is a brand that I really like, is for just a cup here is 8 grams. 1 cup, that's tiny. 1 cup of this soup, 8 grams of protein. Lentils in general, I use lentils a lot. I particularly like black lentils, green lentils, red lentils, but red lentils are great because they sort of go away. They just disappear. So you can throw them in a chili, you can throw them in a tomato soup, you can throw them in a tomato marinara pasta. And then you add 9 grams of protein with just 1/4 of a cup. So that's super easy. Now, I wanted to talk to you about sprouting a little bit here. So when you sprout any kind of bean or seed, or any kind of sprout, it releases more protein. We already talked about the sprouted grain bread, but I am very into sprouted beans and grains. So you can either buy them at the store, and they're pretty expensive to buy them at the store. They also have them at my local farmer's market, super expensive. These are sprouted mung beans. I've sprouted sunflower seeds here. But I pretty much, sometimes I buy them if I've been away, but I like to sprout my own. And I will put a link again underneath this video where you can buy really good quality sprouting seeds. These are nowhere near ready. I started these 24 hours ago. These are my broccoli sprouts, which is pretty much the healthiest anti-cancer sprout that you can eat. And then in here, I've got a mix, which I love, which is garbanzo beans and different peas and whatnot. And that will be, I'll eat it as a snack or add it up to my salad as a big protein superstar. I just wanted to point out here nutritional yeast, because nutritional yeast, I really love it. I recommend the non-fortified version. And nutritional yeast has 5 grams of protein in just 1/4 of a cup. So, you know, I recommend that my clients use it in lieu of Parmesan, on pasta, in soups. It has a really lovely cheesy taste. It's got lots of B vitamins in it. So that can be really helpful too. All right, so let's get to these ones. So protein, this is big time protein here. So we've got tofu. Now, why this one is a superstar, this is by Wildwood, the brand Wildwood, and it's their high protein tofu, which is calcium set, and it has 14 grams per serving. Now in this block, there are 5 servings. So imagine this divided into 5, and just eating that amount is 14 grams of protein. And so I use this protein a lot. Another one, I guess the biggest superstar of all, is tempeh. So I love, love, love tempeh. I create recipes all the time with tempeh. It's slightly bizarre looking. If you haven't learned to cook with it, you might want to go start searching YouTube and looking for all sorts of different ways to cook tempeh. But 17 grams per serving is pretty impressive. All right, now, oh, I just wanted to show you this actually. This is a little bowl that I made earlier today. It's got the high protein tofu, tempeh, black beans and veggies in it. It's like a hash, almost like a breakfast brunch hash. And that, you could not get more protein in that. I haven't done the calculations, but that's through the roof protein wise. Have that with a little slice of sprouted grain, toast, some avocado, fresh herbs. I'm in heaven and I have so much protein. It'll keep me full for hours. All right, let's just talk about these superstars now that I see all the time in the store, which is your bean pastas. So the bean pastas, it can be black bean, edamame, it can be lentil, chickpea. You've seen them all. They're really popular in the stores now. I love the black bean spaghetti and I love the edamame fettuccine as well. But this is 25 grams of protein per serving. Right? Absolutely awesome. Now, talking of edamame beans, let me move this out of the way. This is my go-to. Toss it in a salad. I'll just steam them, put them in a little baggie or for a snack to go with me, and I'll season it with a little bit of tamari, garlic powder or whatever, you know, whatever, chili, whatever you want, and very, very high in protein. I think it's 9 grams of protein per small serving. All right, now we're almost there, and then we're going to get to our surprise little thing at the end. So wild rice, I wanted to point that out. A lot of people think, no, rice, what, protein? Well, regular brown rice has a little bit of protein. It has about 4 grams per serving, but wild rice has 7 grams per serving. So it's really high in protein. It's not technically a rice, but I love wild rice. Again, search YouTube, look for some really good recipes using wild rice, because that's going to become your best friend. It's a little bit more expensive than regular rice, but it's so worth it. It's very filling as well. And now to the surprise, the biggest protein superstar on the block that I said I would come to. It is lupin. So ground lupin, sometimes known as lupini, is a grain. It is very, very high in protein. A lot of people like using it, and I recommend to my clients that they use it sometimes in place of quinoa. So it's 14 grams of protein in just a tiny quarter cup, 14 grams. When you cook it, it has the texture of almost like couscous or tabbouleh, bulgur wheat kind of texture. So you can throw it in a salad. You can make a tabbouleh. You could make a porridge. You could go sweet. You could go savory. And the really upside of this is that it cooks in just 3 minutes, and it's so high in protein. So that's it. I mean, you can see, right? Delicious foods. And the great news is that these foods are becoming more and more available wherever I seem to travel, whether it's in England or Europe or Italy or, you know, all over the United States. I'm finding these foods and other ones as well. So let me know. What I would love you to leave me comments of is in the comment thread is, what are some of the things that you love? What are some of the ways that you love to dial up your protein through plant-based sources? Because I bet there are some things that I have forgotten or haven't even thought about. So I'd love you to let me know, to let the community know. And if you use any of these particular foods, or if you're like, oh, I've got a brilliant recipe for that, or I love using tempeh such and such a way, let us know in the comments as well, because that'll be so useful for everybody watching. And again, as I said, if you're struggling on your health and weight loss journey, then be sure to click on my free masterclass underneath this video. Watch the whole thing and you'll find the 5 shifts that all my clients have used to have lost 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, up to 100 pounds easily and joyfully without going on some silly crash weight loss diet. All right, I will see you next time.